Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. Free agency is in full swing, but for the Warriors, it's practically at a standstill, and this has upset Warriors fans. There are some free agents who could help the team's rotation. The Warriors are expected to sign 3 free agents. Free agent big men Warriors need to target in free agency if Al Horford falls through. The Golden State Warriors are putting a lot of eggs in their Al Horford basket. The Warriors remain the only team that hasn't made a single free agent signing this offseason. Many are expecting a Horford Warriors signing could happen any moment. However, if the Warriors are unable to land Horford, they will be in big trouble. The big men still available on the free agent market are not exciting. Here's who they'll need to pursue as a plan B if Horford doesn't sign. 3. Bol. This would be a fun Warriors free agent signing. Bol's father played for the Warriors back in the day with much success. Could the Warriors revitalize Bol's career? Bol has spent his last 2 seasons on the Suns, getting inconsistent minutes. However, on the Magic, he played 70 games, averaging 9.1 points and 5.8 rebounds in over 20 minutes per game. If the Warriors could get this type of production from Bol, he would be a huge pickup. His length on the defensive end would be super helpful for an undersized Warriors roster. 2. Precious Achiuwa. Achiuwa is still young and has shown that he can be productive in limited minutes. He spent the last 2 seasons on the Knicks, often riding the bench as Tom Thibodeau leaned more heavily on his starters. He still averaged 6.6 points and 5.6 rebounds a game last season. With more consistent opportunities, he could show some of the potential that had so many excited about him early in his career. 1. Thomas Bryant. Bryant has already played 8 NBA seasons and is only 27 years old. He is an efficient scorer on the inside and has started expanding his game to the three-point line. Last season, he was a key backup on the Indiana Pacers, helping them make the NBA Finals. While he is considered a below-average defender, the Warriors could use him to stretch the floor and grab some boards. The last time he averaged over 20 minutes per game, he scored 12.1 points and 6.8 rebounds per game. Golden State Warriors won't agree to Jonathan Kuminga sign-and trade with interested rival team. The Golden State Warriors have no intention of sending Jonathan Kuminga to one of their rivals. The Golden State Warriors have been the quietest team in the offseason so far. So far, they are the only side not to make any trades or free agent signings during this period. Draymond Green told the Warriors how to build around Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler. But Mike Dunleavy Jr. and the front office haven't put any kind of plan into action. In fact, the Warriors have actually lost players, with longtime veteran Kevin Looney signing with the Pelicans in free agency. The Warriors have also made no decision concerning Jonathan Kuminga. The 22-year-old star is a restricted free agent. While Kuminga hinted at leaving the Warriors to pursue bigger goals, he hasn't attracted that kind of attention from other teams. But the Warriors have made it clear they won't facilitate a move to one team that holds some interest. Golden State Warriors won't sign and trade Jonathan Kuminga to Sacramento Kings. The Golden State Warriors are being patient with Jonathan Kuminga's restricted free agency. But according to Brett Siegel of Clutch Points, they have already ruled out one path. It appears that the Warriors are open to a sign-and trade for Kuminga, but will not send the youngster to the Sacramento Kings. There has not been any significant momentum from rival teams as it pertains to signing Kuminga to an offer sheet this offseason, league sources told Clutch Points. Although the Sacramento Kings are known to hold a strong interest in him, their sign-and-trade conversations with the Warriors never gained traction. If Kuminga were to be traded, Golden State would prefer not to send him to the Kings, sources said. The Sacramento Kings do want to land Kuminga, but aren't willing to break the bank for him. But it appears the chance to land him has passed the Kings by. Golden State Warriors plan to address Jonathan Kuminga's future at NBA Summer League. Siegel's report also added that the Golden State Warriors plan to meet with Jonathan Kuminga's representatives at the NBA Summer League in Las Vegas to come to a resolution. He expects both sides to agree to a short-term deal that will allow Kuminga to maximize his value while continuing to play for the Warriors. All signs continue to point in the direction of a short-term reunion between Kuminga and the Warriors. Once Golden State comes to terms with Kuminga, they will begin rounding out their roster with experienced veterans who have held out to this point in free agency. With Summer League starting on Thursday, Kuminga and his camp are expected to meet with Warriors officials and other teams in Las Vegas, sources said. A resolution to his free agency is expected to come to light after these conversations are held. Many warned the Warriors to address the Kuminga situation quickly. Ramona Shelburne even claimed Kuminga's decision could ruin the Warriors' offseason. Given how things have played out, it's hard to argue against her. Hopefully, both sides can come to an agreement soon. And then, the Warriors begin focusing on fleshing out their roster. Warriors could steal perfect player from Jazz in Jonathan Kuminga sign-and-trade. This could be an ideal fit. As the Golden State Warriors seek out a resolution to the Jonathan Kuminga saga this offseason, allowing them to pursue other moves to enhance their roster, multiple suitors have arisen for the young forward's services. The Utah Jazz, having recently opened up extra cap space, have emerged as a relatively new suitor for Kuminga, and they could provide the perfect player, 21-year-old Taylor Hendricks, in return for the dynamic scorer. Although there have been multiple teams interested in Kuminga, the Warriors have reportedly not been impressed with the offers for their most prized asset this offseason. Were the front office able to negotiate this deal, it could be the ideal return on a cold market for restricted free agents. The Jazz could have a hidden asset in a potential Kuminga sign-and-trade. Heading into the offseason, the expectation around the league was that Kuminga's restricted free agency would generate considerable interest from opposing teams, especially those with ample cap space who could put Golden State in a bind with a hefty offer sheet. However, as free agency has begun to take shape, it has become clear that the financial restrictions of the new CBA are largely preventing teams from taking major gambles, and, as a result, teams with restricted free agents are somewhat stuck in limbo. Of the reported suitors for Kuminga, including the Miami Heat, Sacramento Kings, Washington Wizards, and New Orleans Pelicans, only one has reportedly made an offer, and it was frankly an underwhelming one. While the Warriors are said to be seeking a first-round pick and a young player in return for Kuminga, the Kings offered Devin Carter and 2 second-round picks in a potential sign-and-trade, a price that is evidently not close enough for the franchise to be enticed. However, the Jazz, following the blockbuster 3-team trade that sent John Collins to the Los Angeles Clippers, now have more than enough cap space to pursue Kuminga, and they could be the only team that could give Golden State what they desire. Hendricks, the power forward who was the 9th overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft, averaged 7.3 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 0.8 assists through 40 games during his rookie season. However, last season, Hendricks was limited to just 3 games as a result of a gruesome leg injury. Yet, if the Jazz were willing to part with one of their numerous first-round picks, Hendricks could easily take on the rebounding and defending role that the Warriors have envisioned for Kuminga while simultaneously granting the franchise the financial flexibility they need to enhance other aspects of the roster. While it may seem like Golden State would be settling for less than Kuminga's worth in any of the potential deals floating about, a deal with the Jazz could be the best-case scenario. Warriors rumors: what's reason behind Al Horford's signing holdup? The current free agency of one Warriors player seems to be what's preventing Golden State from signing Al Horford. At first, it seemed like a foregone conclusion that Al Horford would be signing with the Golden State Warriors. However, as NBA free agency progresses, Horford remains unsigned. This has left Golden State fans concerned about whether the reports of Horford considering retirement over continuing his career were true. However, according to Bay Area radio host Mark Grandy, there might not be any reason to worry. Based on Grandy's reporting, Horford to the Warriors is still happening. However, what's slowing things down right now is the free agency of Golden State forward Jonathan Kuminga. Unfortunately, Kuminga is a restricted free agent currently testing the market. That means Warriors fans might have to wait a bit longer for Horford in royal blue and yellow. Why is Jonathan Kuminga holding up Al Horford's signing with the Warriors? Clearly, Kuminga's free agency has had a slow start. However, he has had several interested suitors, and a resolution could be coming soon, according to ClutchPoint's NBA insider Brett Siegel. Well, plenty of time has gone by, and there is still no resolution to the Kuminga-Warriors standoff. The longer this drags out, the more likely it is that the two sides will agree to some sort of short-term deal, which would allow the Dubs to utilize Kuminga's new contract value at its full amount when he becomes trade-eligible in December, instead of 50% in sign-and-trade scenarios right now. There has not been any significant momentum from rival teams as it pertains to signing Kuminga to an offer sheet this offseason, league sources told ClutchPoints. Although the Sacramento Kings are known to hold a strong interest in him, their sign-and-trade conversations with the Warriors never gained traction. If Kuminga were to be traded, Golden State would prefer not to send him to the Kings, sources said. So, with the NBA's annual Las Vegas Summer League set to kick off soon, hopefully, there's a resolution to the saga between Kuminga and the Warriors. Whether it's him returning to Golden State on a shorter deal or a sign-and-trade elsewhere, Warriors fans will have to remain patient until this is resolved. Once it's figured out, Horford will be in the Bay soon after. Heat blockbuster trade idea shockingly sees $166 million All-Star team-up with Jimmy Butler on Warriors. The Miami Heat are signaling 2026 will act as an assessment season, where the front office determines if Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo are capable of leading a championship contender. Let's say the Heat suddenly come to the conclusion the Herro-Adebayo duo isn't capable of competing for a title. Team president Pat Riley could waste no time kicking off a rebuild. It's important to note it's far more likely Riley and company give the tandem a fair shot without the drama Jimmy Butler sparked last season. A social media trade idea shockingly sees the Heat send Adebayo to the Golden State Warriors, where he would reunite with Jimmy Butler. Miami would receive Jonathan Kuminga, sign and trade on a 3-year, $74.5 million contract, Buddy Hield, Moses Moody, a 2027 first-round pick, lottery protected, and a 2031 second-round pick. It's obvious what the motivation for both parties would be in this scenario, but neither makes sense right now. The Warriors likely want to see if Stephen Curry, Butler, and Draymond Green can make noise in the loaded Western Conference without chasing another All-Star. Alternatively, the Heat are in no rush to send out Adebayo, especially when considering there are 3 guaranteed seasons remaining on his contract. This is because he inked a $166 million extension with the organization last summer. Fast forward to next February, this trade could become much more realistic if the Warriors and Heat are struggling. As of now, it is simply a Fantasyland proposal with no real logic for either team. Warriors' top pick endures tough debut typified by one worrying stat. Not a pretty plus-minus. 2025. There was significant anticipation among fans for Alex Tui's debut with the Golden State Warriors on Tuesday at Chase Center, but things didn't quite go according to plan for the Australian forward or his teammates for that matter. After a hard-fought 90-88 loss against the San Antonio Spurs on Sunday, the Warriors suffered their second straight defeat to end their California Classic campaign, falling 93-79 to the Miami Heat. Alex Tui endured a tough start in his Warrior debut. Tui displayed his intriguing blend of size, ball handling, and defensive versatility in the first quarter, recording 4 points and 3 rebounds in 8 minutes, which included going 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Unfortunately, there weren't too many positives to point to beyond that, with the 52nd overall pick finishing with 6 points and 6 rebounds in his 24 minutes. Tui did get his first field goal in a Warrior jersey with a layup in the final minutes, but otherwise finished just 1 of 5 shooting from the floor, which included missing all 3 of his 3-point attempts. Perhaps most concerning were his 4 turnovers, including an early one where he was stripped dribbling in transition, which led to a Heat layup. An underwhelming debut was typified by Tui finishing a game-worst -34, with the Golden State starters easily outplayed by their Miami counterparts. Full sequence of Alex Tui's first made basket with the Warriors. The Warriors' other recent pick in last month's NBA draft, Will Richard, followed his 16-point performance on Sunday with 12 points and 5 rebounds in just over 20 minutes. The 56th overall pick shot just 6 of 15 in the process though, and is now 2 of 11 from beyond the arc over his first 2 games. Expected two-way contracted guard Taron Armstrong continued to show his playmaking prowess with 7 assists and just 2 turnovers, but the ability to create for himself remains a question after only 5 points on 2 of 7 shooting from the floor. Armstrong also committed 7 fouls and was a -33 in his 25 minutes. Jackson Rowe was again Golden State's best player, going for 14 points on 4 of 8 shooting while adding 2 rebounds, 2 assists and 3 steals as the 28-year-old forward continues to push for another two-way contract with the franchise. While not a great start for Tui, there's certainly a grace period for him to acclimatize and a whole Las Vegas stint of summer league ahead in which he has the opportunity to impress. The Warriors will play their first game in Vegas against the Portland Trail Blazers on Friday.